Rapaziada, havia dito pra vocês que se rolasse alguma coisa lá naquelas apresentações do Xbox na Gamescom, que foram lives bem longas, no sentido de é cansativo ficar acompanhando mesmo, eu ia trazer pra vocês aqui. Então, ó, teve do Metafor, dando uma olhada aqui nos bastidores e algumas coisinhas aqui, pra gente dar uma conferida além, né, do trailer que foi mostrado lá na Gamescom também. Então chega mais, galera, e é claro, se curtiu aqui o vídeo, não esquece de deixar aquele crítico aí no like, se inscreve no canal, mano, que a gente faz vídeo aqui todo dia. E vamos dar uma olhada aqui, que são duas coisas que a gente vai ver, tá? Ó, primeiro já até começou aqui a tocar, que é um Game Overview, e depois tem mais coisas pra gente ver, então vamos lá.
ご来場の皆さん、こんにちは。メタファーリファンタジオディレクターの橋野桂です。本日はご参加いただきありがとうござい
Uma
ます。
legenda em cima da outra, né?
た
Mas
だいま2024年10月11日の世界同時リリースに向けて最終調整に挑んでおり、現地へ行くことができずとても
os
残念
assuntos
です。
finais.
今日は私からこれまで皆さんからいただいている応援コメントや感想とともに本作の魅力をいくつかご紹介させていただきます。まずは皆様にご注目いただいている本作のあらすじについてです。メタファーは本作の舞台であるユークロニア王国の王が殺されるところから物語が始まります。この世界では王族や権威のある人物が王になることが主流でしたが、突如国民から最も人気を得た人物が次の王になることができるという王選挙魔法が発動され、
A grande magia eleitoral,
物語が大
velho.
きく進んでいきます。
Loucura.
現代風に言えば選挙のようなものでしょうか。主人公は王を目指し旅をします。いろいろな場所に赴き、さまざまな人々と出会い成長を重ねます。もちろん主人公以外にもさまざまな種族の人物が立候補します。一番人気になれば誰でも王になれるわけですから、とんでもない公約を掲げる人も出てきますし、ユニークな戦いや騒動が繰り広げられることになります。選挙をめぐる物語をぜひゲームの中で体験してみてください。
Cara, eu acho que essa das eleições serão tumultuadas.
主人公が王を目指す道中で楽しめる旅体験への高い関心を寄せていただいています。今作はさまざまな経験や出会いが主人公の王の資質を成長させます。どんな行動も無駄にはならず主人公の成長につながる、これは非常に重要なポイントです。凱旋車での移動の最中、仲間とチェスのようなゲームを楽しむこんな何気ない仲間との交流からも主人公は王に一歩近づくことになります。また舞台であるユークロニア王国のさまざまなロケーションにも多くのご注目をいただいています。旅の道中で訪れる街や雄大な自然では多彩なアクティビティを体験することができます。モンスター退治のサブクエストはもちろん、ある街ではフィールダイビングを楽しむことも可能です。メインストーリーを進めると後から開放されるアクティビティもありますので、プレイヤーの皆さんはぜひいろいろな場所を巡っていただけると嬉しいです。それらゲームの中での選択一つ一つが仲間たちとの絆を育み、主人公の成長につながります。どのような日々を過ごすのかはプレイヤーの皆さん次第です。さまざまな楽しみ方ができるようこだわって作っていますので、ぜひ楽しみにお待ちいただけると幸いです。そして予約購入をしていただくと冒険をより楽しむための豪華な特典がゲットできますので、ぜひ事前予約をしてください。最後に本作の特徴を一つお話しします。メタファーでは会話中プレイヤーが選んだ選択肢を主人公がボイス付きで喋ります。これは私がこれまでに作ってきたペルソナ5などの作品よりもさらに主人公に個性を与えたかったためです。プレイしていくうちに親近感と愛着が増していただけるようこだわって作りました。ぜひ新たな主人公を愛していただけると大変嬉しく思います。それでは Xbox チームにお戻しします。ありがとうございました。
Então, pô, bacana, esse primeiro trailer assim foi quase que um resumo das coisas que a gente já sabia, uma sinopse do que é o jogo, né? Por isso que é um Game Overview. Agora, vamos pro Behind the Scenes, que foi lá no evento, né? Naquelas entrevistas que a gente tava tendo. Vamos ver o que foi falado lá. Ah, tá com os dubladores.
Now are Kristen Atherton and Stuart Clark. Thanks so much for joining us here at Gamescom. How are you finding it so far?
Oh, mate, it's been overwhelming in the best possible way. Like, I've never been to an event like this, which it's like gaming theme park.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like every
Pô,
area
realmente
is
eles
themed. I'm looking at the
capricharam lá,
World
né?
of
Olha os
Warcraft
cenários que
section
ficam
now,
ali
and it's
atrás,
just
né?
like it looks like this themed attraction. People are queuing. They've got incredible rides. There's games. Like
Esses eventos
I
daqui
just want to
faltam
go
um
out and
pouco
explore.
desse
Like as
tipo
soon
de
as this is done, I just
decoração,
want to
né?
go and I want
De
to
vez em
find some
quando tem,
cool
mas não é
things to
sempre,
go
não.
and go
Yeah.
experience.
I mean, you walk in for the first time and it's just, you almost want to just stand and take it in. It's just a spectacle.
Yeah.
And people walking around in costumes, you know, I want to stop every single person and go, you look incredible. Wait, you look incredible. It's such a wonderful atmosphere. We're having such a brilliant time.
Yeah, it's one of the best things, just wandering around the booth, seeing all the games. But let's talk about your game, because both of you play some incredible characters, right, in the game. Stuart, do you want to start off with who you're playing and tell us about your character?
I can totally start, yeah. Okay, so I play Leon Stroll, who is your first ally. He is your brother in arms, your ride or die, your main man, your special dude. I'm running out of ways to describe it, but he is like your first and foremost. Runs in very early. He is like a country noble who basically he's a man of the people. He's got this idealized version of what a noble should be, how a noble should act. How they should interact with the world, and it's an idealism that isn't always matched by the world that he exists within, and he butts up against that a lot. And I think it's so refreshing for him to find the protagonist and for them to share this kind of forged in fire experience early on, where they find that their ideals align and their motivations align, and he is able to join him as that first ally. Like his mouth gets ahead of him sometimes.
Yeah.
He's forthright. He will if he doesn't like you, he'll tell you. And if there's a grudge, he's going to keep that grudge. But if you're on the right side of him, he is your best friend.
It sounds like everyone needs a Stroll in their life.
I think so. I think so.
I agree.
Kristen, what about your character?
Well, if you need a Stroll, you certainly need a Hulkenberg. Iselin Hulkenberg is, she was a knight originally, and she was the bodyguard of the royal family, the prince, and she sort of carries this extraordinary sense of honor and of her duty to the royal family. And when we meet her, she has this enormous wound because she was not able to protect the royal family in their hour of need. And so when we meet her, you get a feeling of she needs to redeem herself. You know, she needs to prove that she is the great knight, the great warrior, and she has your back. She is front and center. You want Hulkenberg to be fighting your corner. She takes herself very, very seriously. She's maybe not the person you want to play a practical joke on, because she will not get it. However, you do want to go to a bar with her and eat some weird food, because she likes her weird food.
Weird? What kind of weird food are we talking about?
I mean, I don't want to drop any spoilers, but basically...
Huge spoilers. Huge spoilers.
Enorme spoiler, a comida que ela gosta.
Yeah. I don't want to ruin her maybe one joke of the entire game, but yeah, she will eat what pretty much no one else will eat.
That is fair enough. It's pretty much me at Gamescom. I was just going like, oh, what have we got? Like, going around the town.
Yeah.
But one of the hardest things I find when with any prep for building these characters is, what are you given beforehand? Are you shown like images? Are you kind of given extra details so that when you're going to build this character, what's the approach for you?
That's a good question.
Yeah, it is a good question. Honestly, Benny, it can vary massively from project to project in terms of where you are in the recording process when the game's being developed. So it might be that you come in further along and there's so many assets. You can see full cutscenes, you're getting a full rendition of the world. Or it can go completely the other way, and you're basically performing to an Excel spreadsheet. And everything is having to be conjured by your brain. I think with this one, it was sort of an in-betweeny stage where when we started the project, there was very little. There was like nothing to go on. I remember Scott, the localization director, was sort of describing these things, describing human monsters, and I was like, okay, yeah.
É porque os humanos ali, eles são tipo monstros, né? Engraçado.
Yeah, I get it. I didn't really get it. But then the assets start coming in,
ainda não tá pra entender
and you start
direito.
seeing these animatics, these cutscenes. There we go, there's one. And you start to see the scale. You start to understand, like, oh, wow, this is not what I pictured. These are not traditional monsters. This is not a traditional fantasy world. It's when the assets did start coming in, and especially when we started dubbing cutscenes and stuff like that, then I started to go, oh, this is different. This is like a different experience, fantasy-wise, to anything that I've done before.
A lot of the monsters, they're almost like Hieronymus Bosch kind of, creations. They look sort of beautiful and terrifying at the same time. I don't know about you, when I auditioned for Hulkenberg, I was given, this is what she looks like, and a lot of kind of descriptive, kind of characteristics. And very quickly, I look at that and go, well, I look nothing like that. So you have to really imagine, you have to pretend every time you're in the booth. One of my directions was, you've got a six-pack on. Your armor is a six-pack. And, I'm a sweet little English rose, so stuff like that helps me massively.
No, it must be a lot of fun, though, getting into those roles, because they're, as you said, such different characters to what you've done in the past.
Yes, 100%. There are a couple of moments in the game that are huge battles, especially for a character like Hulkenberg, and I'm quite an extra performer. I like going big, and a lot of the directions that I kept being given was, Kristen, you're very good at fighting these battles. Things hurt less. Do less. Do less. Do less. There are a couple of moments, again, I don't want to spoil big dramatic moments where I was screaming, and the performance directors are going, Kristen, less.
It's always said, though, it's better
to mas errar pra mais é melhor do que errar pra menos. Eu aprendi isso, né? Enquanto eu tava estudando atuação. É mais fácil se ajustar.
If you've got more, you can kind of take that step back and kind of get what you are after.
Yeah, good point.
I didn't get any do less direction. So what I'm hearing is that Stroll feels every attack, and he feels it a lot. But Hulkenberg can take it, and Stroll is like, oh gosh.
Bad ass. Needs work.
Also, with it being a voice recording and going and voice work, when you're going into that and you're kind of prepping to do the recordings, because even backstage we're doing little warm-ups in the morning, with the whole Xbox team that are doing the hosting, doing red lorry, yellow lorry, green lorry, bite my burger, all this stupid stuff. Right? Is there anything particular you were doing to get yourself into the mindset before recording, or any prep?
Okay, less of a vocal exercise, but I tell you what I did do throughout the recording process was that the studio was a little bit outside of London, so I always had a train journey to go. And I played through the entire of Xenoblade Chronicles 3 on my Switch, because it just got me in that kind of RPG mindset of listening to other voice actors, enjoying what they're doing, feeling inspired, and getting me in that zone. So that was kind of my prep. Was more of a mental prep of just getting you into the world of fantasy, JRPG, that kind of thing. I found that actually really, really helped me.
Yeah. No, I like to listen to computer game soundtracks when I'm on my way. It's very tempting. You're walking around, South London, and you hear this epic music in your ears, and you're like, I am a warrior. Yes, all of you should fear me. And actually, as soon as you take the music out, you're like, I am not fearsome or scary. But yeah.
Honestly, it's been so much fun, just kind of seeing how you approach these characters in the world, and I can't wait to play the game myself as well. So thank you so much for both of you coming and joining us, and finding about the process and hearing about your characters. And a big thank you, and I hope you enjoy the rest of Gamescom and get a chance to get around the booth as well. So remember as well, the epic story of Metaphor ReFantazio unfolds when the game launches October 11th. So check out the pre-order and get ready for the adventure.
É isso aí, rapaziada. Essas foram aqui as novidades. Isso é mais um bastidor mesmo do Metaphor do que uma novidade exatamente, né? Mas ainda assim acho interessante ver como é que foram criados ali as vozes dos personagens, assim, tal. Eu sempre gosto de ver um pouco dessas curiosidades. Talvez seja porque, né, meio que tô um pouco dentro desse meio também. Mas diz aí, rapaziada, como é que tá a hype de vocês aí pra o Metaphor ReFantazio e o que mais você espera pra ver do jogo, né? Esse jogo tá... acho que ele é presente em vários momentos, né? Eu acho que agora... Não sei quanto a vocês, mas tem alguns jogos, Metaphor é um que, tipo assim, eu não preciso mais ver nada. Eu só quero jogar. Mas deixa aí abaixo o que você achou. E se curtiu o vídeo, não esquece de deixar aquele crítico, aquele like. Se inscreve no canal. E segue a gente nas nossas redes sociais. Pode ser ficando por aqui. Valeu, um abraço. Até mais e fui!